All right. Hi, welcome to Sky Yoga. I am Stephanie, and we're going to do about a 45-minute session today with, how long will go out? with centering through breath and then some warm up, a little bit of conditioning, and then we'll do classic warrior poses. So find a comfortable way to sit. Sitting on a bolster or a cushion that brings your hips even with or above your knees is very comfortable. So let your lower body relax down and lift your torso erect. Let your shoulders relax. So wiggle them around, wiggle your elbows, make sure everything is nice and loose there. And then tuck your chin ever so slightly. And begin to just pay attention to your breath. All we're doing is observing. And as you're observing, observe how your torso moves when you breathe. Some of us have a habit of lifting our shoulders when we breathe. You don't really have to do that. Feel your rib cage expand outward like a beach ball. So maybe you feel your ribs bumping up against the insides of your upper arms. So try to take the movement out of your shoulders, if it's there, and into your rib cage and your belly. Let your legs, your body from the waist down, just relax into the floor. And feel your torso centered around your spine and your core rising up like a candle. And your breath is that steady but fluttering flame. Maybe as you relax your arms, maybe you think of wax slowly dripping down the sides of the candle. And now we'll start breathing with even more intention, opening up the rib cage and expelling with some force from the abs, cleansing breath. So fill your rib cage front and back. Exhale with force through your mouth. Use your abs to exhale. And on your next exhale, try lion's breath with me. That's where you stick out your tongue on the exhale. Really squeeze every molecule out. Wonderful. And now we're going to sit up tall and start to stretch the neck. So drop your chin to your chest. Maybe waggle your chin slightly side to side, feeling the stretch in your neck and your upper back. And when you're ready, we're going to roll the chin in a big half circle, shoulder to shoulder. And if that's working for you, you can try a full circle. However, if you do try the full circle and it hurts, go back to the half circle or even just the neck drop. the circle is working for you, try the other direction. And pay attention, what muscles are warming up? What muscles do you feel stretching? And then we'll sit up tall again, and I'll turn sideways to demonstrate. We're going to grab your elbows behind you. So stretching out the shoulders and the upper arms. And release, shaking it out. Getting resituated. And now we'll open the arms wide, fingers spread, really stretch your thumbs and fingers and arms, everything reaching up high. Inhale fully. And exhale, bringing your hands nice and slow back to the floor. Again, inhale, reach. Feel your rib cage lifting. Exhale, release. One more like that. And release down. Keeping the arms long and straight. Very nice. Now this time, when we reach the top, clasp your hands, interlace your fingers, turn your palms to the ceiling. Stretch, reach, feel a little back bend, twist your torso around. And we're in position for a tricep stretch, so let's do that. Release your hands, drop one hand down between your shoulder blades and grab your elbow and pull. Pulling your elbow gently back, feeling the stretch in your triceps, the back of your upper arm. Breathe. And inhale, reach high. Exhale, drop the other hand, pulling back. Maybe you can pat yourself between the shoulder blades with the lower hand. Excuse me. And now we're going to open the arms wide. And with your thumbs up, press the backs of your hands toward each other behind you. Stretching the upper arms and puffing out your chest. This is like cow pose. Your chest is out, your shoulders are back. And then give yourself a big hug, pull your shoulder blades forward. Maybe check in that your neck is loose. We'll inhale again. And now flip your thumbs down. Exhale, bring your hands together behind you and lift. So again, puffing out your chest. This is called Robin's breast. Lifting your joined hands. Feel the stretch throughout your arms. And then another big hug. Make sure your arms are, the other one is on top. If you didn't pay attention, then the way you normally would do it, do the opposite. Grab your shoulders, pull them forward. And release. And we'll bring the hands down to your legs for shoulder rolls. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Lift those shoulders as high as they'll go. And then change direction, still inhaling up, exhaling down. Wonderful. All right, let's make our way to hands and knees. Maybe you need a water break. So remembering that if you have any issues with soreness in your wrist or your knees, you can put something under your hands, like a folded blanket or a thin cushion. You can fold your mat up and create some extra cushion that way. So don't suffer, don't abuse your joints, support them as needed. So our joints are lined up, and we're going to, from this tabletop position, push the spine up, which tilts your pelvis forward. So your hips and tailbone come down and forward. Your navel is pushing up against your spine, and your spine is arched up like a bridge. Arms are straight, head is down. So fully come into this position fully, this sort of Japanese bridge, the arched pose. This is angry cat pose. And then push back. Feel the stretch in your low back now as you push back and reach forward. And then bend your elbows and inhale, pulling forward and doing the opposite with your spine. Now your shoulders are high, your hips are high, and your belly button is pushing down. So we're in cow pose. So flip your spine the other way. Exhale, push back. Inhale, pull forward. We're just flexing the spine from top to bottom, rolling through it with your breath. And as you complete your next circle, excuse me, come back to tabletop. And we'll do thread the needle. So lifting your left arm high, reach, stretch toward the ceiling. Inhale, and then exhale, bring your arm down, threading the needle. Rest your head and your shoulder. Bring your hands palm to palm, and then slide out that top hand, reaching as far as you can. Maybe you can get your top elbow to line up with your bottom wrist. And then wrap your right arm around behind you. And roll your left forearm along the floor. Check in with your shoulders. How do they feel? And then we'll unwind, pressing your right hand against the mat to press up. Inhale the left arm again. And exhale it down. We'll switch sides now, reaching high with your right arm. Inhale. Exhale, bring it to the floor. Rest on your head and shoulder. Bring your hands palm to palm. And then slide out that top hand, lining up your elbow with your wrist. Pause, enjoy the stretch before you complete the bind by wrapping your left arm around yourself. And then roll the right forearm along the floor. It's been a long day, sorry for the yawns. And now we'll unwind the left arm, press up, inhale the right arm high, exhale it low. Perfect. And we'll go on now to kickstand for the hamstrings and the legs in general. Kick back your left leg, push through your heels, stretch, stretch, stretch that leg, and then swing it out to your side and come back to rest on your heel. If you can't comfortably put your forearms on the floor, then put a cushion under your forearms. And once you're settled, relax your left leg and reach for your ankle. You can let your head hang if that's comfortable. And now you have the option to point your toes towards your face and pull them toward you. If you can't reach your toes, that's okay. Just keep reaching toward your ankle. If you can pull your toes, relax your ankle. You get more of a calf stretch, hamstrings, behind the knee, the whole back of the left leg. And then release and make your way back slowly up to tabletop. And we'll switch sides. So now kicking back your right leg, push through your heel, stretch, and to the side, coming down, resting your forearms, elbows on whatever. Relax your leg and reach for your right ankle. Again, you have the option to pull your toes toward your face or not. Soft ankle if you're doing that. And release, coming back to tabletop for drunken cow. Yay. So if you always go to the left, try going to the right. Making big circles. Pushing way back, way forward, get your whole body and spine moving. This is particularly nice for the hips. And when you're ready, change direction. And when you complete your next circle, we'll push back into child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch, arms reaching out, rest your forehead on the mat. Push your rear end back towards your heels. Get some length in your back and arms. And then we'll come up slowly and swing forward. So bringing the knees back to parallel, swing forward, let your hips hang low. Arms can be straight or you can rest on your elbows. And look over your shoulders, gently twisting your torso. Stretching your abs, feel this below your rib cage. Whew. And then we're gonna come back up into tabletop and do just a little conditioning. So important to stack your joints here. We'll do the pendulum pose. Yeah, you can do it like this. So shoulders over elbows over wrists, hips over knees, extend your left leg. If your left hip is way up in the air, bring it down, engage your abs, lift your right arm. If you can't lift leg and arm, choose one. Do it well. Stretch it out fully straight. And breathe. And then bend your foot towards your body and reach for it. See if you can lift your knee and get a stretch in the quadriceps. And release down. Wag your tail if that would feel good for your hips and low back, and we'll switch sides. So right leg straight back, level hips. See how high my right hip was? Bringing it down. Left arm. Engage your abs. Breathe. And then bending your foot towards you, reach for it, see if you can lift, get a quad stretch. And release down. Okay, the next conditioning pose we'll do is supported side plank. You can also do classic side plank if you wish. So for supported side plank, we'll start in tabletop pose. The right side will be supporting. So extend your left leg straight, put your sole on the floor, and lift your left arm high. So let's pause here. If you're feeling really stable and steady, you can lift your left leg as well, or not. And then we're going to extend the arm over your head. Make this long, lean line from your hand down to your heel. And we're going to do the elbow to knee thing. So make sure your right side is supporting. And then we'll bring elbow to knee. Inhale and reach. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Feel your hips working. Exhale. Reach for 4. 1 more. Reach long. Very nice. Come down with control. And we'll do the other side. So in case you're wondering what that would look like in classic plank, so you would come into your high plank and then pivot to the side, classic plank. So come into your side plank, whatever it is, supported or not, and then reach overhead and bring elbow to knee and reach, reach. I think this is 4. 1 more maybe. And come down with control. Very nice. Yeah. So of course you're using your upper body to support yourself, but also these muscles, especially if you're not in the supported position, if you're in the classic side plank position. Whew. So let's stretch the forearms and wrists. So flip your palms out, bring them down to the mat with your fingertips facing your knees and the insides of your elbows out. And you can just sit here. Maybe this is intense for you already, or you can gently sway, or you can gently circle. If you are circling, try the other direction. And then sit back and shake it out. Wonderful. So let's flip around on our back sides for one more conditioning exercise for the core. We'll do boat pose and yoga sit-ups. So finding your balance on your rear end, lifting your feet off the floor. If you're new to this, just stay right here. This could be hard, using your abs like this and your quads. If you're a little more advanced, you can lift your shins up parallel to the floor and stay here. Now it's more of a balance challenge. And if you've been doing this for a while with me, you know what's coming. We're going to do yoga sit-ups. Extend and contract. Out, 2, out, 3, 4, 5, halfway there, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. Good job. Rest your feet, lift up tall, look over your shoulders as you hug your knees. Woo, nicely done. So this is something to build up to slowly. If you're just starting the yoga sit-ups, do 3 or 4. Don't feel like you have to do all 10. You might hurt yourself. So let's come down on the back and do some stretches for the back. So hug your knees and rock side to side. And then with your hands on your knees, take them in big circles. This should feel really nice on the low back. Pull the knees in with your exhale. Let them come out with your inhale. And then change direction. We're still letting your knees press your breath out. Wonderful. And then bending your knees, they're still bending deeply. Lift your calves and reach for your feet. So maybe you're grabbing your shin or your ankle or your feet. This is happy baby, rock side to side. Try to get your thigh down to the floor and then get back up again. A lot of little muscles need to work together for that to happen. Again, check in with your back. How's that feeling? For me, this is like having a rolling pin go over my back. I love it. And then come to the center. Bring the soles of your feet together. You can slip your hands up to your ankles or your shins and push your knees away. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. And then we're going to release your grasp, keep your feet together and drop them to the mat. And now you can rock your pelvis side to side, or you can flap your knees up and down like butterfly wings, whatever feels good on your inner thighs and your groin muscles. And then let's bring the soles of your feet together, roll to one side. I'm sorry, we brought the soles to the mat, not together, and push up to seated. We're going to make our way nice and slow to standing. So on your butt, feet in front of you, hands behind you, move your feet in and lift your rear end off the floor as you bring your elbows in front. So that's the transition into low squat. And here again, you can rock side to side, you can look over your shoulders. Again, this is very nice for your low body, for your inner thighs, for your low back. You can intensify it by bringing your hands knuckle to knuckle instead of palm to palm. It's a little more stretch. And then release your hands down. We're going to slowly lift your hips high, straightening your legs. Bring your feet parallel under your hips. And we're in forward fold. Feeling the stretch all through the backs of your legs. Grab your elbows and sway. And twist. Giving your back a break. Your back gets to be upside down, weightless. Let your head hang heavy. Let your whole upper body hang heavy. And if you have to have a little micro bend here to protect your knees, that's fine. Do what you got to do. And then we're going to release the arms and slowly roll to standing. Use your abs. Engage your abs and roll up. Nice and slow. Imagine being able to do this one vertebra at a time. And when you get to the top, roll your shoulders back. Stand up straight and tall. We're getting ready for warriors. So coming up to the top of your mat, feet strong underneath you. Everything lined up, so shoulders over hips, over ankles. We're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back. We don't have our butt poked out. Stand up straight. And we'll step the left foot back. So your right knee is bent straight over your ankle, and your left foot is pointing at a different angle from your front foot, right? They're pointing in two different directions. And you're feeling probably a stretch here in your left hip flexor. And now bring both of your hips back to the front. You may feel like, ooh, I got to change my foot around. That's not going to work. That's fine. Adjust your stance so that your both hips can face the front. You can feel your hip bones right there, oriented to the front, not the side. And sink into your stance. I'm really feeling a stretch in my back calf. And when you've got your stance down, Lift your arms high overhead for warrior one. With every exhale, sink into your stance. Feel your legs stretching and growing stronger. Bring your shoulders down. Your arms are up, but you don't have your shoulders up around your ears. Shoulders are in their usual place. And now we're going to bring the left hand back and the right hand down. And now the hips are opened up to the side. For warrior two. Bring your arms level as best you can. Really feeling a stretch in the inner thigh on the left side. Look over your right fingertips. And again, every exhale helps you sink into your stance. Stretching the back leg, strengthening the front leg. Now reverse warrior, drop your back hand. It can rest on your back leg. It can wrap around your back. And inhale your front arm high. This is reverse warrior. You can look up at your hand if you're able. And now bring your arms level again. We're going to rotate back to the front. So your hips are facing front. And bring your arms together behind you, similar to what we did in the warm-up. Clasping your hands, pulling your shoulders back. And then slowly lower your torso down to rest on your right thigh. And I immediately feel relief in my low back, taking the weight off the low back. This is humble warrior. Let your torso rest on your thigh. Lift your hands high. And then drop your hands to either side of your foot. Lift your left heel. And you're in a low lunge. Maybe you have to adjust your feet a bit. That's fine. Stretching your left quad. And then bring your left foot up. And we're in forward fold again. So hang out here a moment in forward fold. Feel the stretch in your low back and the backs of your legs. Engage your abs and slowly roll up to standing. Roll your shoulders back. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to change sides. I'm on the clown. Go lie down. Lie down. You're standing at the top of the mat. Good boy. Nice and straight, chest lifted. Butt tucked in, not poked out. And we're going to step back with the right foot this time. So your left knee is directly over your left ankle. Your right foot is planted on the mat. I feel the stretch in my right calf. And now I'm going to reorient, face the front. So my hip bones are pointing this way. Really feel the stretch in my back calf. And when you've got your stance stable, lift your arms high for warrior one. Inhale, strength. Exhale, stretch. Sink into your stance with every exhale. And now we're going to bring the right arm back, left arm down. Arms are roughly level, shoulders relaxed. Sink into your stance. Warrior two. Look over your left fingertips. Breathe. Reverse warrior. Drop your back hand. You can rest on your thigh or wrap around behind you. Lift your left arm high. I always think of Hamilton in this pose now. Level out your arms again. Back into warrior two and rotate to the front now. Hips facing front, hands clasped behind you. Drawing your shoulders back and sink down. Resting your torso on your left thigh, lifting your hands high. That stretch in my right calf is really deep now. Drop the hands. Lift your right heel. Lie down, Matt. You can't see my heel. There you go. Lift your right heel off the mat. So you're in a low lunge, stretching the right quads. And this time we'll drop the back knee. Bring your left leg back to meet it. And we're in tabletop. Wag your tail. And we'll get down on our back for a little Shavasana. It's a great time for a water break if you're thirsty. I hope everyone's staying hydrated in this crazy weather. So come down on the back and do knee down twist. Any standing pose involves the back, probably more than you realize. So it's always nice to give the back a twist after any standing poses. So knees directly over your hips, arms key out to the sides. We're going to drop the knees to the right. Right hand holds them down. And then look away from your knees over your left shoulder. Feeling a stretch in the left hip and a gentle twist in the back. Roll the head back to center and engage your abs to help you pull your knees back up to center. Give them a hug and a rock. Lift your knees again directly over your hips. Your feet are just dangling, arms out to your sides. Drop the knees to the left. Left hand holds them down, and you look away from your knees over your right shoulder. Release, engage your abs to protect your back, pull your knees up, rock and hug. Whew. And let's extend your legs and drop your arms to your sides for a brief Shavasana. So returning to this idea of the candle, imagine a cheap candle out on your patio in this weather. It would just be a puddle. So you are the puddle. Allow yourself to puddle. No resistance. So that means your feet flop out side to side. Your head sinks heavy into the mat. Your face relaxes, dripping downward. Your throat relaxes. Your shoulders sink into the mat. Your arms melt outwards, all the way to your fingertips. Maybe you imagine a pool of melted wax warm in your hands. Your rib cage melts into the mat. Your spine melts into the mat. Let your pelvis form a puddle. Relax all those little muscles that we clench in the pelvis. Let your thighs just flop outwards, sinking into the mat. Let your calves sit heavy on the mat. Feel your heels sinking into the floor. And the only movement in your whole body is just breathing. Begin to breathe a little more deeply. And feel yourself gently solidifying as the evening cools down. Your fingers come back to life. Your toes come back to life. Your wrists and ankles rotate. Your neck rolls side to side. And then take whatever stretch would feel good to you right now. Maybe it's a long, full body stretch. Maybe it's pulling your knees into your chest again. And when you're ready, roll to one side. And for me, this time of year is a new beginning, a new school year. Think about what new beginnings are coming up for you. And when you're ready, push up to seated. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste.